Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Identity Library. My name is Veronica Becher, and today I'm joined by Tommy Godwin.
Godwin.
Oh my gosh, this is like shame on me.
People do that all the time.
The amount of times that I'm trying to record someone's last name and I pause every single time, look at my guest and be like, I have no idea what's happening. It's just tremendous, so sad. But thank you so much for joining us today. Super happy to just have you here. You're like,
I'm glad to be here.
And dear listeners, yes, I was unavailable, dying of lack of sleep these past months, and I did not record for a whole month. So I'm so sorry for everyone who want to listen to my podcast. But I'm back in the studio, and hopefully back with some stories for this month. I graduated. Tommy graduated too. So you wanna just, what are your feelings like?
I guess I can introduce myself. And
Okay, sorry. This is not the order. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Tommy. I just graduated from NC State. I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I double majored in agroecology and international studies, and I minored in soil science. And
I love the ad, and I'm this, and I did this. Basically, really like high achiever up here.
I'm like, isn't most of the people who listen to this, and do they go to NC State?
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe that'll
know.
mean something to them. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh. I don't know. What am I? This is like I've been in school for 4 years, so like this is how I introduce myself.
No, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't know what else is there. Do you add more to your self introduction?
I don't know. Fun fact.
Fun fact. I have 2 cats.
I was literally thinking about your cats.
I have 2 cats. My favorite TV show is Survivor. I grew up. I played piano. I still play sometimes. I like to garden. I like plants.
That's a wonderful introduction. So today, for everyone who's traveling right now and sits on a random bus trying to cross Europe, I don't know where you are, but I feel like it would be a nice add-on to your travel experiences. So download this episode. And so I feel like I would like to start with something that is precisely, really important, I think. Is graduation, like how to feel about graduation, and just reflecting on 4 years of college and being in your field itself, like being a horticulture science minor myself. I feel like it's just such a different field from my business degree that I feel like it would be nice to just have a talk about that.
That's true. We're both interdisciplinary, I guess.
Yeah, it's true with international studies. So you probably relate a lot to people questioning, oh, you're studying something that is so different.
Oh my God. You have like one normal major at least, your business.
What do you mean normal? Do you know the amount of people that question
why you do business and horticulture?
Yes,
horticulture
that ask why I'm doing business in general, because I feel like it has so many stereotypes with like being in business.
Because you're a woman or
no.
oh shit. Oops. All right. I'm supposed to say that.
No, I was not thinking about being a woman, more like that people associate people that just didn't know what to do in college. They decide to go into business to make a lot of money.
They stereotype.
Yes, and now we have a whole recession coming on, and no one can find a job in business, what is kind of hilarious. So
yeah.
But basically, maybe let's start
graduation.
Yeah.
4 years.
How do you
college.
feel?
I don't know. It's so recent, honestly. But my graduation, how it went well. I had 2, and then the first. Sorry, I'm clicking my pen. Yeah, I had 2, and the first one, the IDS one, was really boring, and I almost fell asleep. But the second one, my crop and soils, because that one was a lot of fun. And like, what's funny about the crop and soils graduation is it's like so different. They give you a microphone. They give you the microphone, and they're like, "Can you introduce your family and give a few like words of gratitude and like what your next steps in life?" So for every graduate, they are like, "That's my ma. That's my pa. That's my dad. That's my cousin Billy. That's my cousin Janice."
It feels like how the Cardbowl graduation went. We have a Cardbowl fellows.
You guys do that too?
Yeah.
Each of you gets a speech.
in a way, not really speech, but more we introduce ourselves, like the family and ourselves. And it's so funny because my parents weren't there, so it was like I'm by myself, and then everyone just paused and the whole room looked at me. I'm like, whoa, what should I tell you? Like,
Dang, yeah.
like my parents weren't at my graduation. By the way, if anyone is relating to that, I'm sorry to tell you, but I hope you had some great friends that came, because I had some great friends that were there, and I think that just made my day.
Yeah, people need that support. It felt good. Like, I gave, like, when I went to mine, like, I was like, I didn't want to cry, but then I was like, Dr. Patterson, you believed in me. I like started choking up, and then I was like, I really started choking up, like talking about my mom. Or like, oh, my mom's here. She's my inspiration. Oh, my mom. And then I almost start crying, and like, it was like, and people liked it, I guess. People were like, good speech.
But isn't it always the case, if you know that you're like sad or you're like emotional about it, that you actually had great 4 years? Like, it was a hard time, but at the same time, you've gained something you can call like a second home, or something people that you're grateful for. Actually, I couldn't cry. Oh my gosh.
No tears.
No, it's so bad because I got emotional 3 days before graduation. And I was like, I should not cry yet. It's too early. I'm not there yet, and I cannot cry. Like, and so I'm there like, okay, don't cry. So I pushed through the whole like cardboard ceremony and everything till I got to my actual graduation, and then I'm like, where are my tears? They're non-existent. I'm like, this is kind of bad. That means I'm repressing my emotions completely. And I got a card from one of my best friends, Ari, and for some reason a postcard arrived one day after graduation, and I read it, and she wrote me a postcard like, congratulations, and like, I hope you have enough energy for the semester. And I'm like, I just choked up. I'm like, I'm crying like in my room, super sad, and at the same time super happy for what I've had. Yeah.
I think it's like people like go like process things differently, or in this experience it means different things to people. Like, what was college like for you, and like what you value? And you seem like you value people a lot in your relationships. So, and it was the same for me. Like, I don't really care about graduating, or like, I just realized like, oh, I've like graduating and getting a job. It's like, oh, I've had a job for the past 3 years. Like, I've been working like while at school. So it's not like my life is so completely different. I mean, it will be, like, school is like completely different than real life, but I didn't really care. Or like, I'm done with school, honestly. I'm so burnt out, and I'm like done with school right now. Like, I might go back, but I just like am so burnt out. And then so when I graduated, or like when I was about to graduate, I'm like, I'm out of here. Screw this. Like, or I was so happy to go. But at the end, like at the graduation, when you get to see your like family or people who are proud of you and your professors, and then you like reflect on like, oh, I'm actually very grateful for this experience. And then that's when like it's emotional, like, because it's like, oh yeah, my mom, like especially my mom, it's like she just worked so hard for me. And like I wanted to tell her something. Like, it's hard for me to be like really open with my mom. Like, some people are so open with their parents. It's like, to me, it's just crazy. Like, people just like are always talking to their parents, like telling what's going on. Like, that was never like me and my parents. So for me, like trying to be honest, it's easier to be like honest in that situation. Just like telling someone I'm like grateful for it. And yeah, so it felt good.
I'm like the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really close with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, she knows like too much about my life in a way. Excluding a couple of things where I feel like she would be too worried about me. You know, like certain things, you know, you just don't want to worry your parents, but we're good. No, she knows a lot. It was more like I told my parents, I realized they're not going to be there, and I wasn't aware how much it meant for me that your parents arrived to your graduation. And I was like, well, I'll have a different one in Germany. But for some reason, I paused and I was like, man, I really want them to be here, because when all the parents arrived for all German students, and I was the only one without parents, and they were spending a whole week with their parents, going to restaurants and talking and meeting up together, and like they were like in this little bubble, and I was just excluded because my parents weren't there. This is how it felt like. And I was like, man, I took my last exam on Thursday, and graduation was a Saturday, it was just like a blink of an eye, super fast, getting through everything. And I was just like, I called my parents. I'm like, man, I really miss you guys. I hope, like, I wish you would be here, but I know that my parents couldn't fly due to my mom. And like, it just, I don't know, it was, my dad got so upset. He was like running around in the kitchen and was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna come to her like German graduation for sure. Like, we can't miss it. And they were watching the recording. My mom started and it was like after midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they were watching my recording so they can like see me walk across the stage. It was the opposite for the business school. Super dry and depressing at first. No.
Oh, that you went to the commencement. You're like,
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't go to the commencement.
It was super. So the business school was just, we had 800 students. They actually separated the master students from us. We didn't even, it was just undergrad.
Oh, yeah, they had a separate graduation. for
Yes. And so we walked the stage and it was like the student speaker came up, he talked, and then it was the most efficiency driven graduation you would ever go through, where it was like, now we're gonna start with the diploma, please don't clap. And this is what made everyone upset. We were not supposed to clap for anyone until everyone was done. And I was like, man, I get it, but also no. So
Wait a minute. So you're just like silently
Yes!
calling people up? Like, it's so boring.
Like,
no?
think of a movie where you only hear the steps and people walking.
Oh,
It's
God.
like this like awkward
800
silence.
people?
Can you imagine it? We were in Reynolds Coliseum, so the whole Coliseum full of people. They were booked out. Every seat was filled with people. And we were like, everyone was quiet and you only hear people's names and people walking across the stage. I'm like, man, this is bad. So someone decided to bring a drum inside the graduation ceremony, and they were drumming the whole time. And there were some guys dancing on the stage. It was super funny. I don't know. And so people started breaking rules. And one of my friends was like standing in a bag. I was like, really emotional about the fact that he arrived, actually, because he knew he was super busy that day. He was like, I'm still gonna arrive to your graduation because I know your parents aren't there.
Oh, what a sweetie.
And he shouted across the whole
Veronica!
No, he did.
Oh.
And so in the video where I'm walking across the stage, you can hear him shout. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, this made me so happy. Like, I don't know, really random graduation moments, but
No, that's beautiful.
fantastic graduation. Maybe last comment, I feel like I talked too much, but you're like,
No.
something that stuck with me was a student speaker that said one thing that I liked. I'm conflicted about the speech itself, but I liked one thing that he said. And it's, we are all ordinary people, but we do extraordinary things every single day. And something stuck with me and I was like, so true. Because we are all just graduating. We're just going through life, but I hope we all do something that will leave an impact.
Oh, yeah. Does that motivate you? Like, you want to make an impact on the world or something?
I realized a 9-to-5 job would not be enough for me to be happy. I'm even kind of scared what's gonna come next because it feels really linear. Like, it feels like I've just gained a milestone and now I'm continuing just building up milestone after milestone. So it's like, oh, getting married, finding a partner, buying a house, having a dog, children, you're done.
Yeah.
This is how it feels like.
Life can feel like that, I think, too, for me or for a lot of people. It's like you're going through, you're like after your, expectations of you, like what happens after college, stuff like that. Gotta get a job, gotta settle down.
You want a fun fact, like, about my graduation? My advisor for the IBDD program that I'm in, like international business, was joking. He was like, or he was actually serious about it, but he just said it in a way where it was funny. And he's like, well, he talked to all the Germans, and we were 5 people. He's like, you better invite me to your wedding. And then everyone turns in the same second.
To you?
Yes, yes, oh my gosh. And they were like, well, Veronica's going to be the first to get married.
Why?
And I'm like, well, exactly. And then my advisor was like, yeah. She looked at all of us and was like, yeah, I agree.
Wait.
So I don't know why I'm getting married first, because speaking of linear path.
Wait, you're not like engaged or something, right?
No, I don't even have a boyfriend right now. So
Like, you don't have a secret fiance.
No, I don't. So it's kind of funny how everyone looked at each other because we are all single right now.
Oh, you're all single.
And so everyone's
5
like,
single Germans.
yeah, this is kind of not a good thing for the US, but yeah.
It's like a dating show plot.
It is kind of
5 single Germans.
It is. Actually, this is what happened 2 years. My past 2 years were literally just a dating show of me just going through
Okay.
ups and downs and watching my roommates
Yeah.
getting entangled with too many stories and too many situationships where I would hear from other people in my university that he's right now dating this random girl or not dating. And I'm like, man, I know more about your love life than I want to.
That college drama. This young people drama.
It's just so funny. I don't know. And that was really funny. And yeah.
We're like so off topic. What are we talking about?
No.
Graduation.
Yes, feelings. But maybe let's just go back to this actual. So looking back on the 4 years, would you say the experience was good? Like, what is something that stuck with you, like about college life?
Stuck with me. You know what? It's funny. I like did interviews for. I'm in a group where I was called the Thomas Jefferson Scholars, and we did like freshman interviews. And I like talked to all these like incoming freshmen, and we did like interviews, and we're like trying to get to know their interests and stuff. And a part of me, it was like kind of sad, or like, because these were like such great kids, like they're amazing kids, like there's these people who are like, I don't know how the heck they do all this stuff. They're like, yeah, I'm the president of FFA, and I'm like, I volunteer on the side, and I work in a bakery part time, and I'm like, geez, how do these people do this? Like, how do they live like this? But when I was talking to them, like, they're just so passionate about life, and they're just so happy, and a part of that was like, there's like a little sad tinge there, because I feel like I just burnt out so much, and I'm like a little afraid for them, or like I don't want them to lose that. But another thing happened. It was like one person I was interviewing with was a professor, and she was like, she asked me that same question, or like what I enjoyed college, like did I enjoy? No, she asked me like, did I enjoy college? Like, did I enjoy going to state? Do I regret it? And for me, I was like, I can't. There was no like answer of like, did I enjoy college? Would I rather went somewhere else? Because like college has just been so unbelievable, like in terms of how it's changed me, or like the experiences I've had, the people I've met. It's like not even like, I can't imagine another school. I love Wolfpack. I love NC State.
Go back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even a huge Wolfpack. I mean, whatever. I mean, is that sacrilegious to say? But I'm not like a huge school spirit person. I never like took a lot of identity in being a college student or going to school, and like I try to look at stuff outside of school, but it's just I can't even imagine anything. Like what one takeaway, it's like the person I was before I came is like, I feel like I've matured. Like it's like that was a young stupid kid, and now I'm like a young stupid adult.
Who's just looking into the mirror and gets older and older, but mentally it stays the same.
No, but I mean, I think I'm matured, or I know myself more. Like I know what I've done, but or like who I am a little more. I don't know. Is it the same for you? Did you think that, or were you already fully formed when you came here? You were already like so cool.
It's funny, something I've learned. So I want to improve and grow as a person, but sometimes I force myself to grow as a person. And when I do that, I'm like, get super frustrated. I'm like, I feel like I'm like in a stagnant position where nothing happens in my life, and I'm not like becoming a better version of myself. But I feel like the growth happened when I didn't think about the growth. Does that make sense? Like, and that's why just out of nowhere it happened. I'm like, whoa, I've grown so much. So I feel like for me, since I started in Germany, well, I graduated high school, and I moved completely away from my hometown. Like it was the first big move. Well, not really big move. I lived abroad in the US actually, but big move in Germany. So I was like by myself, first own like indirectly shared apartment. And I went crazy. I was like, for the first time I had a social circle. I found people that I could connect with. College was for me like finding like-minded people that care about what they do more than when I was in high school. I feel like my high school, like, I don't know, acquaintances, people just did not
High
care about,
school.
they did not care about school. They did not care about learning things. And the opposite for me was like, I enjoy learning things.
Yeah.
I enjoyed college for that part. I don't like exams, but I don't think people do in general. But I do enjoy actually going to classes and the flexibility of meeting so many diverse people. That's just what inspires me. And so I went crazy. Like I don't know if I've ever told anyone here on this podcast, but I lost my voice the first month that I joined college because I talked so much that I don't know. Apparently, I went to the doctor and he was like, well, I think you talk too much. And I would sit for 3 months. I couldn't regain my voice. So in the mornings and the evenings, I would lose completely my voice. And then during the day, I was able to talk. But I would sit with a cup of tea in every single apartment of my building, every single night, a different apartment, and talk to new people. And I went crazy. Like I've got to know almost everyone in my building, my grade, my semester. Like I don't know how, but I was out there like the social butterfly. And I was in a relationship for 2 years, or like almost 2.5 years. I got into a relationship in college, went crazy. It was a beautiful time. Not the relation. Well,
Good times.
good times, yeah. But also, and then I see the double, like the other side of the coin, where it was pretty difficult for me because I realized I was struggling so much with my degree.
Yeah.
I entered as the only student. No, well, not only student. I was in the minority of students that had no background in business, and their parents didn't own a company, were CEOs, or had any sorts of management position high up in the company. So when I entered college, I had no expertise or knowledge about business at all. I never took any business classes or anything in that direction in high school, and my parents were both in STEM, and I was struggling so hard to fit in because I just couldn't find my niche, and the classes I had to take in the beginning were just not my thing at all. So the amount of times that I would like study so hard, I wouldn't get the grades I wanted. I was so frustrated. It would burn me out so much. And I was just struggling so much with fitting in as a woman in business, being acknowledged by other students that were with me. Like a lot of guys were actually not respectful towards you as a woman in Germany. They would not talk to you in group works because they thought you wouldn't know what you were talking about. They would like ignore you, like you're just existing in the group, and then downgrade you later after the project was done.
Downgrade you?
Yeah, we would.
Oh, you like evaluate each other?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just a bad thing. And I would get so many comments from my professors in Germany where it's like, why didn't you ask your parents to grade your paper? Or why didn't you ask your parents to help you write it?
In university.
Exactly. And I'm
your
like,
parents help
I'm
you
like,
write it.
why would I ask my parents? First of all, my parents both, they are actually not first generation, like they are first generation students, but they are not Germans. Like my dad is German, but he grew up most of his life in Russia. So their German isn't perfect either. They both didn't go to business school. I have no connections in business school, and it was just such a struggle. I feel like this is such a long answer, but then I switched here, and I was so scared of being here. Like I had the highest anxiety peak in my whole life because my mom just got diagnosed with cancer, and I was just like, she had the surgery a month before I was flying out, and I couldn't even see her. I didn't see her. I was actually on the call, like calling her on the phone, and I was just like so worried what's gonna happen to her that it just it broke my heart, and then the relationship and everything, and I was just terrified being here. And I was debating for such a long time of if I should move. And the only thing I had was that was holding me here was, okay, I will give it a month, and if I hate it, I will move back. And I stick 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
So it's like, it's pretty good. It's okay.
It was difficult. Really
but
difficult.
You stayed, so you like the U.S.?
Well, I'm getting like so many questions back. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did I loved the college experience. I think it was really diverse. I got actually more to do here than like I traveled more in Germany,
Yeah.
but here I did more in college in general. I got involved in so many clubs. I mean, I
Yeah.
had so many courts when I was graduating. I was laughing. I looked
Someone
like a
told
Christmas
me,
tree.
wait, I don't remember if someone told me they saw you or something and that you had like a ton of cords. That's what.
I mean, I don't want to say that out loud. Maybe I should, but I had 13 courts.
Oh, wait, I literally saw you that day.
Yeah, 13 courts, a
You did have
medal,
like cards.
and actually I didn't bring like the what's the name
The sash.
sash. I had actually 3 sashes. I didn't put one on because I was like, okay, we're
What is the sash for?
MSA, the one that I had, the black one. It's a multicultural student affairs one, and I love it because it's worn like it's out of really nice fabric, and it's just a really nice like sash. Like it feels actually like qualitative, high quality. But yeah, going back to you actually.
Yeah, what was?
How do you?
How did we get to sashes on stuff?
Graduation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it was there, but going like what you were saying about like, well, first of all, yeah, your story, it's like really interesting, or that or what you said about your mom, that yeah, that touches me, or like I think about that too. It's like I think about my mom like all the time, like every day I think about my mom. Or like, I don't know, we're different because you talk to your mom a lot. I don't talk to my mom that much, but she doesn't want to talk to me. Like or she wants to talk to me, but she always thinks she's bothering me. Like, or it's something, if she calls me, she doesn't call me. I am the one who calls my mom. And, but my mom, she worked really hard. Like, or like that's part of college for me is like, realizing, how much my parents did for me or sacrificed for me. So yeah, I was thinking about my mom a lot. But going back to like what you were saying about business and going a field that you didn't have a background in, like, so I studied agriculture. I studied agroecology, and it's funny like your business school with 800 people. Like we had like 40 people. That's why we get the microphone and we can introduce our whole family. Like not a lot of people do agriculture, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I struggled, or like that, I relate to that struggle a little bit, or what you're talking about. But, like, I don't know.
In what way?
In what way? Just, it's hard to be in something. Like, the thing about ag is like a lot of people are from farming families farming families, or they're from a farm at least. And, so that like, I felt like I'm like way behind, and it's interesting. Like, what attracted to me to it maybe is like initially I just felt like agriculture, like I came out of the pandemic and I wanted to do something that was like meaningful in my life, and I wanted to like help people, and I felt like agriculture, like this is one of the most important industries, and I can help people here, and a lot of people are like that in ag. Agriculture has some of the most amazing people because like people really care about helping one another, and that was a struggle for me, was the like not feeling like I belonged, and that's like something that was like part of my development as like human through college is like getting over that a little, or it's not like I'm not ever fully over it, but it's like based on how I grew up and who I was, it's like the same problem in a different environment. Because like when I grew up, my mom, she's from South Korea, and she's from like she was from a very rural area. She grew up like in a really poor village, and it was like a kind of a rural community. And my dad's from Wilmington, North Carolina. Like, so and his dad is from Burgaw. He was from a farm family. But like, so but I grew up in Wilmington. I was born there. And like, I grew up in this like Korean church community, and it was like, I grew up around a lot of Koreans, but I was one of the only mixed kids, like me and my 2 sisters. I had 2 older sisters. And like, I just remember like feeling like very different from people. I was also like a crazy child. Like
Oh my gosh. What did you do?
I was like this. I like bit people, and I was
Oh my
I was
gosh.
wild.
Yo,
Like
please.
I was one of those weird kids who bit people and like ran around on all fours, and I thought I was really into Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I love Avatar.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now
I
you
was
got
like-
me weird too.
My sisters still to this day are like call me the Avatar sometimes, like to joke.
I
'Cause
love the Avatar. Oh my gosh.
I thought I was Avatar a little bit, or I was pretending at least. But I would like bite people and stuff. And then I went to when I went to school in Wilmington doesn't have that many Asian people, and especially when I was a kid, like there was only 3 Asian kids in my whole grade, and I remember them. And and it was like when you're at school, like growing up in North Carolina or like Wilmington, as an Asian person, it's like you are like so like what the heck are you, like holy crap, like where are you from, like what do you do, like they think you're so interesting. You're like some kind of
Alien.
zoo animal. Yeah, alien. Or zoo animal sounds so bad.
No,
Like,
but it's yeah.
but yeah, people are just very curious about you, and a lot of that was innocent, and a lot of that was like I don't know, deeply hurtful, and or like feeling excluded, or like people calling you names, or people like making faces at you, or like pulling their eyes apart and stuff. And it's like such a weird experience. And if I tell my Korean relatives like this in Korea, they don't understand it. They're like, "What? Like you're American?" To a Korean, if I'm in Korea, like I'm so freaking American. They're like, this American country flag. I don't know what is a gun-toting,
Oh my
beer
gosh.
drinking
Yes.
American is like they think it's strange because their idea of like maybe race and ethnicity are different. But for me, I can never like escape that. I felt like there was always so much attention on me all the time, and I think like that made me like very much like more of a loner, and I didn't feel like I needed people. I like was alone all the time. This is kind of depressing. But
okay.
yeah, and that like came back to me. Or honestly, I think like trying to work on yourself, or like I tried to make an effort to work on myself a lot when I came to college, because I realized that I have a lot of issues. And but that the really sad thing about experiencing discrimination from a young age, and especially racial discrimination, is like you start to it really molds how you view people and view life. You start to you recognize negative behavior in people, or you're more sensitive to it, and you think like, oh, this person is discriminating against me. There's like moments like that where you're like, oh, is this person discriminating against me, or am I imagining it? And I had experiences in college, even like in clubs or something, especially like ag clubs, like because there is no Asians in agriculture here. There are, I should say. They're mostly like grad students. NC State's grad school program in crop and soils is really diverse. Like people from all the world come here, but when it's undergrads for crop and soils, like people studying like agronomy and soil science and natural resources, it's like overwhelmingly white majority, and a lot of people from North Carolina. Like not a lot of diverse background, and I think that is a little bit of why, or I just felt out of place, and a lot of it is like I feel out of place a lot, or I started to recognize that about myself, like, oh, like I'm like, is this in my head? Like realizing how much do I need to like try not to judge what other people are saying, or like not take it a certain way, because like that's what happens when like you build all this wall around you, is that you like sometimes I feel like I'm making my own misery. Like I'm making myself miserable. And something, like I had a real like coming to terms with this when I was starting to think about like what I want to do, and like I'm really passionate about agriculture and farming. I was into it, or I'm still into it. I love it so much. So when I started like considering like how can I use this? Like I want to use agriculture, and I wanted to help farmers, and I wanted to potentially farm myself because I saw the value in that, and like helping the environment or like helping feed people. I see like a real calling for that. And I went to a Carolina Farm Stewardship Association. They have a sustainable agriculture conference. And it was like an eye-opening experience because I was in this period where I was like pretty burnt out, and also like weighing these experiences in my head of like when I was like in a club or something, and I feel like I'm the only one excluded from, or like, I don't know, I'm sitting with some people, and then like this older people, they'll like invite the people next to me to like eat with them, but they would just like leave me. And that was like kind of experience. Like I'm thinking like, am I imagining this? Is this real? And then like just something like that. And also like just all the like, I don't know, trauma I have from being treated like that, made me like think, oh, do I belong here? Do I need this? Like, should I be doing this? Am I doing this thing? Because there's also the aspect of I'm not from agriculture. I'm not farming. My mom teaches nursing, and my dad was a writer. And so there's that feeling that people in ag, like they're from it. But I met this farmer. Oh, I started meeting more farmers, and like I went to like this panel where it was a lot of young people who wanted to farm too, and they talked about like their struggles in life, like not having enough pay, and not because a lot of working in ag is really low pay, like in your entry farming work and stuff, and like their dreams, people talking about their hopes and dreams, that like really, made me feel like I wasn't alone. Like there are people who aren't from this, and people who really love it and have a dream for it. And I met this guy, his name was Davon, at Sandhill Agricultural something, I don't know. But I got lunch with him like through some other person I know, and he was like an older black guy, and I told him about this experience, or like what it felt like. I don't know, he started talking about race sometimes, because in agriculture here, race it can be a really touchy subject, and a really like, because like the majority of farmers are overwhelmingly white, and the majority of land is overwhelmingly owned by white people, and it can really feel like not that good of environment for someone who isn't that. Just my experience. And he started bringing up, so I told him this story, like how I felt like I didn't belong. And then he told me this like awesome inspirational thing about like how he was a Marine, and he had narcolepsy, and he just lived on his friend's couch, and he didn't have a place of his own, and he really wanted to do agriculture, so he would just like go to farms like all the time, and he'd be like asking them if he could help them, or like if he could see what they did. And he gave me this advice, and like I really remember it. Like I think about it a lot, and he's just like, just don't care. So you care too much about what people think, and that like if you have a dream, you need to like fight for your dream, and the money will come. If you are like worried about money a lot, or like that you can achieve something, as long as it's like what you want and you love doing that and you work hard to do it, like you can achieve that. And you need to like get over, like he was like, screw other people, like screw all these people. It's about you. And that's stuck with me a lot, and it sticks with me a lot to this day. And I think that was a moment where I started to really realize like, oh, my problems, I have this pity party for myself. Like that's like the nature of the disease a little, or like of your own getting caught up in your own ego. and thinking so much about yourself, it really makes your own unhappiness. And I found that. And I need to, some people really are really struggling, and some people go through really terrible things, and just like owning up to myself and, getting out of my own way. I really believe that, my biggest struggle has just been battling myself. Really, it's like I feel like I created all this conflict in my mind, and that idea is like how much of it, is real or not.
It reminds me so much of one of my professors in college when I just started freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this tendency, he would call me out of the whole lecture hall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why me specifically. And the thing is, sometimes I would tell him, well, I really didn't get to finish the homework. I just really didn't have the time. And I'll be super upfront and honest with him. And he's like, I don't care. You're still going to come here. So I would walk up to the front and he would force me to calculate things. So I would do stats and math.
Wait, in front of the class?
Yes.
Like you're on the board?
Yes. And explain he was teaching microeconomics and macroeconomics. So I would do microeconomics in front of the whole class because he would force me indirectly to stand in front of the whole class and calculate things. And the funny thing was, I would say things like, oh, I'm not really sure if what I'm doing is right, or I'm not, I think that's right, phrases like that. And he looked at me in front of the whole lecture hall and lectured me, literally, and I hated it because what he said was Veronica, you should not be so, you should not say phrases like that because you look like a non-confident person. So you're so self-conscious if you say, I don't know if that's right. And men don't like women that are not confident.
Oh, he said that?
Yes,
Jeez.
in front of the whole class. And he's like, you're in business. You should be confident even if you don't know the answer. And for the longest time, I actually hated that he did that because he called me out in front of the whole semester, and it's 100 something people or even more sitting in this lecture hall, and he's telling me how I should be more confident in myself because men don't like women that are not confident. And looking back now, I know that I hated it, but there's something true about what he said that I realized. It's called fake it till you make it. But I wouldn't actually take it. The way he did it was just, I think, not the right way. You shouldn't do this, I think, in front of a whole class. But I think the idea is, even if you think you're completely wrong with your calculations, pretend you know exactly what you're doing. Because this mindset brought me through business school. The amount of times that I realized the person next to me that pretends to know it all doesn't know even one thing, and it looks like they do. It's just tremendous. I realized I need to be confident in my skills. Wow. And I need to, even if I think I'm wrong, there's a high possibility that a lot of times when I would say that, and I would be so I don't know if I'm confident in my business skills. I don't know if I'm a good businesswoman. And I also never would call myself just a businesswoman because I feel I just have so many other interests that it would make me really one-dimensional person saying I'm just a business person. I like art, I like philosophy, I still like psychology, I read books, I do so many other things. I have a minor in horticulture science, has nothing to do with business because I was I want to be a diverse person. I realized I tried so hard to fit into business. Like you said, you didn't know how to fit in as you, with your identity into agriculture. For me, it was once I reached that point, I realized I don't have to fit in. I don't have to be the typical business person either, because I realize how much I understand people better by being in other fields, because I am doing what they are doing. I am the one who's painting with the painters and producing the paint later for them, because I know what they want. I actually understand what people want because I am in these communities myself, because I expose myself to that. And it creates an image that you don't just think one-sided of, oh, we're just talking about profit, we're talking about money, we're talking about being successful, but also what are the people and what do they need? What do they actually want? Who are these people that are going to buy my products? How can I make their life better? Because I understand them better. And it's, I think that realization of being confident in my skills and realizing that not everyone in the room even knows what they're doing helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. The of like being confident in your calculations, even if they're wrong, because I don't know, I that that's like a business mentality maybe, but
Of
for
course you fix it. Like I'm not saying like, oh, just be like write
just be
something
wrong.
No, but the amount of times you're like, I
Mm,
don't know, I was literally working as an intern and the guy miscalculated our revenue streamlines, but then he asked me to recalculate it. And the worst part was he was allowed to see these files, but I wasn't allowed to see them because they said that I'm not qualified enough, and we were on the same stage, but he was a guy and I was a woman, and they were like, we cannot trust her. I don't think she can do it. And then I realized he miscalculated everything. And I'm like, how did you get through? Like, how did you graduate? How did you, like, how can our world, like, sometimes I'm terrified. I'm looking at so many people that are graduating from like engineering degrees, and I'm like, how will our bridge be fine? Like, how can I walk on this bridge when I know you cannot calculate even like 1 + 5? Like sometimes it terrifies me, but the,
business, the business students.
the business students do the same thing. So I was like, you know what? I think it's about confidence. It's about you embrace the way you would like to be
Mm,
and you fight for what you want to do. And it took me 4 years to realize that I can be good in business, that I can actually do things, that I understand what I'm doing. Because, and I took a strategy course this semester. It's a capstone course. And so many students, what I did not expect, it was completely opposite experience of my high school degree, walked up to me during graduation and said that they were so grateful for the fact that I was participating and working in the class, because they were like,
woo!
no, because for the longest time I was so scared of being the nerdy like person. Like I sometimes hated it because it would be like I love it so much, but then I create an image and people see me as one-sided. Like I only like school. Like I have nothing else to like offer as a friend. And it would tremendously like scatter like my like like just me personally, because I'm like, well, I'm more than just school, right? You can't just observe me in school and be like, oh, she's only like studying. I'm also going out. I also do other things, not this semester, but I also did things outside, of studying. Like I said, this semester doesn't count.
She's a deep, complex person with her
Yeah.
complex
Yes.
motivations. And
Yes. How dare you? How dare you? But this class made me realize for the first time, hey, I actually can be someone on par with all the other guys in my class. Like I can be someone who
which class?
the strategy class that I took.
Okay.
And
that
it's
counts, yeah.
the funniest thing is, the one guy was standing in line with me to walk out the inside the graduation like hall, and he looked at me and he was like, do you know that all the groups in our group was preparing, we had to present our presentations in front of the whole class. He's like, we were preparing for your questions because we knew you would be the person asking us, so we need to be prepared for any question you might possibly ask. So people apparently were scared. Like I was the latter. Like if they can answer my questions, they're fine.
This is why professors are calling you, by the way. because you're like outspoken in class, right?
I think it's something that has to do with German education systems. In Germany, you get graded 50% of your grade as participation. If you don't raise your hand enough, once is not enough, and you don't contribute, you want. And I fall asleep if I don't do anything. Like I'm so impatient too. That means after like waiting a minute and no one answers, I know the answer. I'm like, man, that's so easy. Like you can just
say it.
Yeah,
just say it. That's what you're saying.
So true. And so I'm like, I became a person that would just talk. And the funny thing is, I was sitting in the back. Like I decided to sit down in the furthest back of the whole classroom, only to realize that I was stupid because I'm like raising my hand and I have to shout across the whole room. And apparently we had a final exam, and I didn't come in right on time because she said there's a window between 12 and 2 that we can come in. So I just came like an hour later, but everyone arrived on time. So the professor was like, it's somehow quiet in this room. Where's Veronica? It's on the whole, like, I don't know. I think 10 people talked to me afterwards and they were like, where were you? We were all looking for you. And like, man, this is leaving such a weird impact on people that they remember me because I was not there for the exam.
They weren't there for the exam.
And I was quiet, and and the professor was just something like, he would be like, "Thank you, Veronica, for being in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, she's carrying this whole class. Like, if she wouldn't be here, I was sick one day.
Yeah,
and
no
she,
flex, just carrying the class.
No,
You know.
but then I also know how much I realize it's about confidence. And going back to this topic, so many people in that classroom, I think, are really, really smart. I actually never even once, when I was sitting in there, thought, oh, I'm the best. Like, I'm better than everyone else here. What I was thinking is, people are sometimes scared to raise their hand. They're not confident in their answers, or they question what they actually want to say. But I'm like, you need to be confident in your abilities, sometimes to succeed in certain fields, and just try, even if it means to fail. And the fact that so many people are just probably thinking the same thing that I was saying, but just not voicing it because they're really like self-conscious about, oh, what's going to happen? What is if I'm wrong? Maybe sometimes realize, hey, there are some really smart folks up there, and give them a little bit more confidence, a push, and they would be the same like top student.
Okay. But like those kids, like some of them are good students, right? Or my experience is like a lot of students just don't like talking in class, and they will like avoid it. But doesn't mean, like, I was more like you. I was very active in class, and like, I don't know, like when I came to school, you know, I was very motivated in the beginning because in high school I didn't try. I was not a good student when I was younger, even like I didn't do any work. So like after school, my teacher would make me stay to do work. And but when I came to college, in high school, I feel like I didn't live up my potential, and I wanted to make my mom proud, or like I realized like, oh, I need to step it up, or like I didn't want to waste my school time. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk after every class, and I'm gonna like raise my hand all the time. And it was really, really difficult for me to do that because I'm not like you. I don't have confidence.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have confidence, and I'm not. I mean, I'm loud, obviously. But I'm like a more introverted guy. Like turns out, and
4 years of college do that to you. I'm actually introverted. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't like to answer questions and whatever. But I did do that for a while, and professors, you know, they end up, you know, doing stuff like that, or like saying like that. Or I had a class where the professor, like after I left the class, I saw like a girl in the class, and she was like, "Oh, you're the guy he always calls on." And I was like, "Oh, what? That's how you know me?" But what was interesting in ag is that as an agroecology major, they're like, people are into like, there's like people that are into organic agriculture, and then people who are like more conventional, and they also, because they're from farming families, they might think that like you're a judgmental person or something if you like are a proponent of it. And sorry, I'm like, but like what happened was that my professor, I had a professor who's pretty like anti-organic agriculture, so he would like comment on things all the time and be like, "Oh, this stuff is not sustainable." That's how he talks. I'm not like making fun of him, but yeah, he was a great guy, and we had great conversations. But he would always call on me to be the like contrary viewpoint, because it was a lot of people, like he calls on them and they will just agree with what he said, because it was like kind of he was saying things like political, or a little bit like the class, we talked a lot about like genetically modified foods and like how certain practices are good. And there was a kind of a criticism of like organic agriculture and stuff, and I found it really like one-sided, and I did not come to school to do that, by the way. I am not like, I was never like, I advocate heavily for things, but I ended up just, you know, wanting to say something or have a conversation, and so he would call me a lot for that. And we would talk after every class too. Like, actually, I talked to him very recently, or he talked to me at graduation, and he complimented me. He said, "Tommy, you're a deep thinker, and I'm glad I had you in my class." And I was like, Oh, cool. Awesome. It was weird because, like, I don't know. I felt like sometimes we would argue, or I also do this. I argue with my professors. It was like my bad habit. Like, I just really, I don't know. I am annoying.
I do the same thing. It's kind of bad. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, some professors get really
Mm-hmm.
offended by it.
Yeah.
They like hate
Mm-hmm.
you. They will
Yeah.
bury you. They will do everything
They'll
that you
bury you.
fail after that. No, seriously. I mean, I have a professor like that in my German university. So
Mm-hmm.
you know how people are like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care about the graduation ceremony itself. The only thing I'm caring about is my German graduation because I need to look into someone's faces, like some faces, and I'm like, I managed to survive 4 years of college here. Um, and yeah, I feel like some professors are just, I don't know. I think they need to be open for criticism, but they're really like strict on, I know exactly what
Yeah.
I want. I know exactly where I'm going. One thing that I struggled with through college that kind of fits into the topic, that I don't know why it came up, but since I added a minor in horticulture science, right? A lot of people were like, if they when they accepted that I'm actually a business major, they were like, "What are you doing in STEM, like a
What the
STEM
heck are
field?"
you doing with that STEM minor?
No, seriously, seriously. And the funny thing is, I would listen in lectures. People in horticulture making fun of business students. They would be like, "Oh yeah, this class is something that only business students would take because they don't know what they're doing." And I'm just sitting there. I would have the same experience back. Like, why would you take horticulture? That's like nothing. That's just, what is it, gardening? And I would look at them like, okay, that's more than gardening. Okay, horticulture is like, there's so many different disciplines that fall under it. And so I feel like maybe you face something similar with agriculture where people have like a image of how like ag people are and they make fun of it in a way too. Um, and so I just I get so frustrated that people will tell me in business that I'm not capable of taking any STEM classes, that I will be a bad STEM student because my classes are so easy. Because business is the easiest you can take. And a lot of people find it easy, I agree. But also, I think our program wasn't the easiest for me personally. I know a lot of students would say that, but it took me a long time because it was really unnatural at first. It was like something that took me so long to grasp what I'm doing here. Since it's not just you learn it by heart and you know the answer, but it's like, how do you apply and like connect the dots without having like the basis. And so I don't know, did you ever encounter people being really like judgmental about, oh, you like a ag student, or did your parents ever comment on your choice of major?
Oh yeah, my parents. Yeah, my parents were like, "What the heck? What are you doing?"
Asian guy that is not going into medicine type of thing? Is that the stereotype?
No, it was nothing like that. My parents are not like that.
That's good.
My dad is white, but my mom is super religious, and my mom actually wanted me to be a pastor. And my dad actually, it's like reverse here. My white dad had like really high expectations of me, especially like, or he was like, you need to be an astronaut or like concerto violinist. Like I played violin when I was a kid. I did like stereotypical Asian things, but um, and my dad, like, he didn't really understand it. And I don't know, I was kind of like, I was kind of like, just I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Like that's kind of how I've always been. Is I, you know, don't always listen to people, and I kind of, but it was hard because because I feel like there's no one that believes in me a little bit, or sometimes it can feel like that you start to doubt yourself. The self-doubt really affected my confidence in like being like, oh, am I as knowledgeable as I am? But I don't know. What was I talking about?
We were talking about how Asian parents, if
Oh,
they like,
Asian parents.
yeah, if they were supporting you when it comes to agriculture.
Yeah, well, my mom is really supportive. My mom, she doesn't care what I do, really. I mean, when I was younger, my parents were terrifying, especially my mom. like they were really, my mom was pretty strict, or like, they would chase me around the house with the ruler.
Well, to be honest, you
I'd
also
lock myself in the bathroom like, no!
You're also biting people. So to be fair,
Yeah.
it was kind of partially on you. I don't know, like
Partially on me? Okay, well.
Honestly, you remind me so much of one of my childhood friends.
Okay.
Like when you told me how you were like super crazy as a kid. I grew up, and this is a stereotype now. My childhood friend, my like closest friend, was half Japanese. Like he grew up. His dad is German. His mom is Japanese, and he was like the smallest kid in school, and I was the tallest girl back then. And we were the opposites, and he would do the craziest things ever. Like he would jump down like this whole staircase, like just because he wanted to, and get into stupid fights or do like, I don't know, stupid things. But I don't know, it just reminds me of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I did that. Maybe, yeah, he sounds similar to me. I was very small as a child as well.
I did get into fights.
You got into fights?
Yeah, people get always like, what's happening? I'm like, yeah, I got into a fight in elementary school with some fourth graders. I was a first grader.
Yeah.
And there were some boys really annoying me.
Dang, you remember all that? First grade?
Yeah, can you imagine? This is one of the things. I remember it well because my mom was really upset with me. But my dad was really proud of me. Because these guys were super annoying. They were so mean to me. And then one day I just decided to hit them. So I got into a huge fight. They scratched my face and I had a blue eye, completely like swollen. I got home and we had the next day, we took photos for like a project. And my mom was like, how the heck should I cover this up with makeup? Yeah, I got into a fight. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah, well, yeah, honestly, I wish I got into more fights. I mean, I don't know, when I was young, I mean, like we would just fight for fun. Like, I fought my sisters a lot. I fought like my friends a lot. But that's pretty cool that you stood up for yourself. When I think about it, I was like, I wish I stood up for myself more in terms like not taking stuff. I think what happens, or like, I don't know, I was told not to stick up for myself. I was told like to sticks and stones. That's like
It's funny because I grew up the opposite. Like my dad.
Your dad was like, fight them.
No, that's what my dad would be like. Next time if they do that, they should just like kick them, like punch them this and there, and then he would like tell me like where to punch. I shouldn't say that out loud maybe, but that's like my dad worrying for me. No, I feel like it's funny because looking back on this development, how I like gained so much confidence and I stood up for me and stood up for others, and I realized, hey, I actually don't care. Things don't like. I get into my head so much thinking about, oh, it's so important what people think of me. But sometimes I realize there's so many people that I should not care about their opinion. People that don't respect me are not worth my time and worry so much. And funny enough, I thought I was through this development, but it took me 4 years of college to be my senior year and realize that I still went through certain phases where I did not set boundaries with people. I did not stood up for myself, and I did not leave like situationships or things that I should have just not been in for the longest time, or friendships. Like it takes me so long to leave people behind because I value people so much that once I'm like in the situation, I struggle being direct with people in that case and be like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because you're not a good person for me.
Jeez. That's hard. That's like, yeah, that's the difficult thing about adult. I agree. Like having to, I didn't have that many friends growing up, so like I guess I didn't have that problem. But yeah, definitely like later in life, there's people you meet, and someone like you're like so extroverted that I can imagine that can be an issue for you.
It's so funny. It's so funny. You're like laughing at it. I was the most introverted kid in middle school. It's confidence sometimes.
Confidence.
A lot of people are introverted because they, you know how there's this idea of what an introvert is, and it's like you are less social, but that's not what introversion is.
That's true, yeah.
It's how you collect energy? Like, how do you get like your social battery up? And there's a misconception that if you don't talk much, if you don't raise your hand much, you're an introvert. But a lot of times, I think there are a lot of introverts that are introverts because of the circumstances they're in and how they grew up, because they're scared of standing up for themselves. They had a hard, maybe childhood. They are not confident and scared to say something they shouldn't, or their background is not fitting into like the norms that they should be in. So I think a lot of...
I hope you're not talking about me, by the way.
Oh, no, that's not! Oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh, this is
I was
crazy.
like, oh, this feels targeted. Like, what the heck?
This is not... Oh, this is funny. I was not trying to target you at all. It was... No, but that's just... But I think for me, I realized it's the opposite. Like, my social battery goes up the more I'm around people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is why I enjoy company. And like,
yeah, and for me, I get freaking drained by it. I'm like, oh, I need to... When I'm with a lot of people and I go home, like, okay, I need to be by myself. Need to decompress. But yeah, that's true. I agree. There's like misconception about what that means. It's not like being shy. It means you're introverted. Like, I don't ever shut up, and I'm introverted. I like...
Yeah, so this is why I'm like, it's not about communication, and it's not about how you are as a person, introversion or extroversion, like in general. I have a different, podcast, I feel like, that I've mentioned that before. But one thing I'm like curious, maybe like as like a last point that I feel like would be, I think, interesting. Now that you're done, like, what's next? Like, how many times have exactly...
Don't ask me that stupid question.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. No, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. The amount of times people ask you what's next that stresses you out, or you hate it. Like, I don't know, can you relate on that? Like, I feel like I hate people asking me that. It feels like I'm running behind. Like, I need to create already a plan for the next 10 years and know exactly what I'm doing, because everyone wants to know what happens after I graduate, and I'm like, I need to move and get my life together.
You know what's... Do you know Dr. Patterson, right?
Yes, I actually saw him 2 days on graduation day.
Yeah, well, he says that to me, or like he's like, Tommy, or Dr. Patterson. I don't know. Should I explain Dr. Patterson? Or Dr. Patterson is like this professor in crop and soil science, and he's an ag professor, and he's like the most whimsical man. You know him. He's like super whimsical. You're just like, you're in his class, and he's just like, class.
He's also an older man. So.
He's very elderly. He's been teaching her for like 56 years or something. But he's like, class, you have the potential. You can save the world. And he's like, talks about famines and crap and like his travels. He's like a Hogwarts professor. Like, he's so magical.
He's seen so many places. He has a whole fan base. He's one of probably the only professors that has like huge fan base, and no one has ever mad at him. Like, they like just love him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the world of him. But he'll be like, Tommy, we need to meet about your interests. And so we would have a meeting, and he'll be like, he will ask me, he'll be like, Tommy, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, 10 years from now, where are you? Are you happy? He'll be like, when you wake up and you go to that job, that special job, and you're feeling like excited for the day, and you're just so happy to be there because it's where you belong. What job? Where would that be, Tommy? And I'm like, man, I don't know, like 10 years. Actually, I do have a 10-year plan, but how can you imagine yourself in 10 years?
Not that I have a 10-year plan.
Well, I have a tentative plan. I have a concept of a plan.
I like that. I
have concepts of a plan.
I feel like I have more goals that I want to achieve, but they're like not bound by time. And I know every other efficiency-driven person would lecture me now and be like, "You will never achieve them because they're not."
Jesus, someone say that about you?
No,
you will never achieve your dreams.
No, it's just more like, you know how you need to be more like thoughtful about it and not say like, in 10 years I would do this. Sometimes, yeah, it happens, but I feel like, honestly, I have like goals like where I want to travel. I want to get a driver's license.
Oh yeah.
Like stupid things. My mom is like pressuring me. She's like, you better get a driver's license. I'm like, I know. I finally have time and I should do it. I'm finally getting there, man.
Hmm.
Just 4 years of college, no driver's license. Crazy. No, but I agree. I feel like this is something that terrifies me, and it terrifies me finding friends after I graduate. Like, it's gonna be. It feels like it's gonna be so difficult to like meet people.
That's true. That is true. Like, it's very nice to have this community here, and I know I'm gonna miss it, but I don't care right now.
Something that stuck with me that I don't know how you feel about it, but at the MSA graduation, there's an MSA, Multicultural Student Affairs graduation, and so the associate director who I interviewed for my podcast, Gavin Bell, he was actually on stage, and he said something. I want you guys to not worry about the past and dwell on it and think about all the regrets you had, and also not live in the future of thinking what's next and trying to plan out the next 10 years type of thing, but rather live also sometimes in the moment of just enjoying the moment that you're graduating right now, and not be so caught up in what you could have done and what you have to do. And just this idea is exactly, I think, where I'm standing right now. It's realizing I took 2 seconds longer than everyone else walking the stage during graduation. I decided to dance. I was dancing across stage.
You did.
I did. It's so funny. I was vibing. Because I was like, I only graduated once.
Were they playing good music? What were they playing?
No, it was completely awkward and silent.
It was silent?
I told you.
Were you making your own music in your head? Like,
I
were
was
you
like, yeah, let's go.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
funny because I knew literally everyone on stage because no, it's just the person at the stairs is my advisor for the IBDD program. And then the woman that was reading out loud our names and switching with the other professor, she was my teacher for the last semester. Like, I had a class of her. And then the guy that was also reading names is my bachelor thesis advisor. So I was just like going through a list of people that I still have to see. And the director, like the dean of our school, was actually laughing. He thought it was hilarious that I was like taking my time. It just
Did no one else dance?
no, everyone was.
No one?
There were two guys like with the drums, like they were just dancing for a second, but I was just vibing. I was not dancing, but vibing because
Oh.
I thought I graduated once in a lifetime. I might as well walk properly
Wait,
on
that
stage.
actually shocks me that only you danced. Because like in my graduation, there were always like there was like people that do a little move and then the whole audience is like, woo!
Do you know what actually happened? I
What?
think a lot of people are drunk.
If they were drunk, why weren't they dancing? Like what?
Because I think they were focusing so much of walking
They're like,
the stage.
I'm gonna fall down.
Yes,
Like, they were like,
exactly.
oh, I gotta get this
No.
diploma.
The big graduation that we went to, the guys in front of me, I don't know if I'm allowed to even say that, but no one would track them down, were taking shots. And the weirdest part about it is they were praying before taking the shot. So they prayed together, they took the shot, and they were so drunk, they were not able to walk even. So one of the guys, when they were said, okay, throw the cap in the air, he for some reason was not able to throw it properly. So what he did, he by accident threw the cap like some baseball ball into someone else's face. That was a girl that was sitting 3
God.
rows in front of him, and completely smashed it in her face. And I was like, what does this happen? Like, what could it? This is a weird graduation ceremony.
Our graduation ceremony was like, or like my crop and souls one, they were like, first of all, I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad. And it was very sweet, actually. Like, people were crying. Actually, that was an awesome graduation. My other graduation, it was like, because it was bigger, it was like yours, where people would just like walk up. But there were some dancers in the IDS. There's some dancing people.
Yeah. Do you? I feel like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. 4 years were. I always tell people, if you have the chance, go through all 4 years. Do not like if you have.
You don't want them to graduate early.
I get why people do it, and some people hate school, but I feel like all 4 years were important for me to develop myself and who I am. Like, it was not even about school; it was more about my social circles, knowing what I want, who I am, where I'm standing in life. It was something I feel like I could have not experienced if I would have walked a different path. And I literally told my mom today, I actually applied to art school I don't know if I don't know if you knew.
Out of high school, you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did not make it. I had a
Mm-hmm.
portfolio, everything, and they did
Mm-hmm.
not like my paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself I'm gonna apply to business school and art school because I liked both paths. And I wanted to go into design management, will be like working with artists, but being still a manager. And it's funny because I'm looking back on it. I was so upset. I was crying so much. I broke down in tears the moment I got the decline. And I made the joke. I made the joke. I'm like, I feel like there's a personality in our history, in the German history, that didn't make it into art school and went to politics. And that was a dark humor joke that I threw with my mom. And
That German dark humor.
She was laughing so hard. I'm like, this is what happens when Veronica enters the business school. No, don't worry, I'm not gonna be a dictator. But basically, sorry for the joke. I had to.
No.
No
problem.
And I looked back. I do not regret being in business. I do not regret walking the way I did. And I feel like everything happens for a good reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like your closing statement right now. Like,
do you...
My
yeah, it's your
you
turn.
Want to hear my conclusion?
Yes.
I really regret double majoring.
Oh my gosh! What?
That was a terrible idea. Oh wait, I don't know. Do I have regrets? Yeah, I do. Because double majoring, or I don't have regrets. I don't. Maybe it'll help me. Right now, everyone in my department has jobs, but me. But they started looking earlier, so that's what I'm telling myself. And I have 2 degrees. I'm like, hey, that's double the jobs, right? You get 2 degrees. Yeah, but like, I think, everyone's path is different. Like, you can't like make a conclusion about what college is like, or like you should do this or you should that. Or in my opinion, like a lot of people, college isn't for them. They drop out. And a lot of people, college is not a fun experience. And a lot of people, they really struggle. Like, or we all struggle, but it was not fun. And I tried really hard to make the most of college, but I also didn't, like, I had a lot of trouble, like, integrating myself in the community and, like, being myself, especially out of the pandemic. Like, oh my God. Like, I am like, who is that? Like, I was this just nervous ball, anxious ball. And I think there's a lot of things in college I didn't really enjoy. And I feel like sometimes people are just so in their own bubble, like all these like students. And I felt like I was like, oh man, I don't belong here. Like, it's kind of like my personality is just wanting to be in a separate path or like make my own path. And, but I mean, in the end, like, I can't say what will be useful to me in my life, but I don't really regret it because I worked hard in college and I tried my best. And I see a lot of, or like when I see these freshmen come in, or like when we did satellite together, like when we were counselors, like talking to those high schoolers, talking to high schoolers really is like make you learn about yourself, or like, oh, I was just like these kids. Like, I'm just like, we're not even that far apart. Like, we're only a couple years in age, but it's just like, dang, I did not know what I was getting myself into. Like, these kids are so, like, they're a little naive, but they have all these dreams, and it's like beautiful in a way. And now it's like, okay, I'm leaving this place. You're like in this little community, and now, that's like a big step. And I don't really feel too anything about it. Like, it's really, I'm not like upset. I'm grateful for everything.
I like to joke freshmen have these like their eyes are sparkling. They're like, oh my gosh, big university, big experience. We were gonna do so much. And then the second year, you just see how this spark dies down.
I think it's
die.
I agree.
The reality hits you in your face, and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And so I think the challenge that the advice I would give to like freshmen in general, like students in college, is bring back the spark, but maybe not do what you thought will be the case, but rather be flexible. Understand that things will not go the way you always want. You will not get into everything you want to get into. Sometimes life is not linear at all, and that's okay. But because you experience the downs, you will experience the ups too. And only because you have downs, you know what ups are like. So just having this like structure of it's not a linear path, but it will eventually get to a better end, and you will graduate hopefully. And even if it takes you a semester longer than everyone else, that's fine too. I've met so many people that dropped out of college and came back, that have kids, a family. Like there are so many paths that are like non-traditional that I think should be more considered as a traditional path. You don't have to finish everything in 4 years. You can take a break. You can explore a different major, figure out that 5 different majors were not your thing, but you finally discovered this is your major. And even then, maybe you won't be even in the end working in your major at all. And I think being open to meeting people, I think that's what it is. And for me, it's like I look back, I'll miss college, but I'll miss the people.
Yeah. No, like that being open, that's something I'm also like glad, or like wanting to change, being open to change. Like if you're not open to it, there's always like it's not gonna impact you the way you want it to. If you want it to transform yourself. But yeah, what you're saying about like freshmen, I feel like junior year is when the light finally dies. It's like freshman, you're done.
Yeah, sophomore is like there's this like 2% still left, and junior is like I just want to graduate. Will I even be able to graduate? I have another year, and it's not getting better. No, I feel you, and I think bringing back the spark for me was finding people I connect with. Having this podcast was something bringing back my spark. It was not always about business school. It was not always about my major. It was about the experiences outside. It was realizing that studying 10 hours a day for the exam won't give you always the better grade. Realizing that sometimes taking a break of 30 minutes will probably give you a better break. You feel more recharged. You getting 2 hours more sleep before the exam will give you better results, even though it feels like you're not prepared yet. Going into an exam you did not study for, but you're still taking it because you know maybe you can get a good grade. It's the fact that you're trying. There are a lot of like little paths and little decisions that made me realize how much grades don't always matter as much. It's not always the internships that you had, the CV that you're building up, your LinkedIn profile for your business school. I mean,
What do you mean, like your life? Your life is bigger than that, or?
I think yes. And college in the end, it feels like
The
so much.
experience is a lot more than that. Yeah.
And you think 4 years were like a lot, but in the big picture, just 4 years, just a lot of things happened in 4 years. That's why it's so like great. But I think you can get so much more out of life, and life doesn't end just in 4 years.
Right. Taking care of yourself, like what you're saying about that, like taking breaks and stuff, because, right. I mean, that's a lot of like programs these days are looking at that. Like, do they have hobbies? Or like that was like with the interviews, they're like, okay, do these people have like hobbies? And one girl, she's like, I do yoga and I go to bed at 8 p.m. And I'm like, who is this high schooler? But I don't know, like the idea of like taking care of yourself, I think is important because I think a lot of people neglect that, or I did.
Yeah, I still did in senior year.
Mhm.
But I think it's just you understanding when you need to put effort in and when you have to sacrifice sleep and when it's not worth it.
Oh, for real, sacrifice. Oh, sacrifice sleep? Don't sacrifice sleep.
I did.
I did too.
But
Who didn't?
I wrote a thesis. It was like thesis, graduation, or no graduation. So I'm like 4 years. We're doing it. Not something I recommend people do. But do you have, to wrap it up, do you have any last like advices, maybe your thoughts, feelings about agriculture, graduation, finishing up your degree, next steps? What, anything you would like to leave our listeners with?
Leave your listeners with. Oh shit. I unplugged the headset. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to give advice today. I was like,
You have to.
I was like, oh, I'm just gonna talk about myself. But advice. A lot of times I don't feel qualified to give advice, or I don't like when I give people advice. Do you want my advice? Honestly, sometimes I hate when when I was younger, I hated when older people gave me advice. Like as a freshman or sophomore, they'd be like, you need to get your work-life balance, or I don't know. I just always found it like these people are talking down to me. But advice, I mean, like, yeah, you're gonna go through ups and downs in life. It's so weird. What am I doing? Like giving advice. I think like if I would give advice to someone going into college, it would be like that. I think there's all this expectation that people come with of what it's going to be like, and they have expectations of themselves and what's going into it, and they have an expectation of what life is gonna be like and what they're gonna learn in the program they're gonna be in. And I think it's just inevitable that you will be disappointed by certain things. And even people who love college, there's just things that go with it that are not fun. And a lot of people like really struggle. And I struggled. But what really kept me going is thinking about why am I here? And finding reasons. You find reasons to keep going and to work hard, and you meet people who inspire you. So that's something I really am grateful for. Like the university is like more than like an institution. The people that were there, I think, were the most like inspiring part of it. And when your house is knocked down, or I like compare it like when you go through really hard times, like I had times where like I had really bad depression, really bad anxiety, just like thinking about things that happened in my life, and like being at this place and feeling isolated. And it's like when a tornado destroys your home or something, you're stuck on the side of the river and you're stranded. It can be like, those can be very transformative moments in your life, or moments where you learn a lot about yourself, and that those transformative moments you end up being grateful for, like in the long run. But you also need to recognize when I need to get help, or when I need to help myself. I need to work on myself. But always, and just take care of yourself. Like I hate seeing people like kill themselves over stuff, and because I see myself in that.
No, I think that's a good ending. No, seriously. Don't kill yourself. This is bad. No, but so true. Like, I think I can relate to that a lot, actually. Not the killing, but the anxiety part, and
The killing?
yeah, I feel like I can relate to the anxiety part. Oh my gosh.
I don't think I didn't say anything about killing, did I?
No.
What?
Okay, fine. This is a good sign, my dear listeners, that we
I'm
talked
sorry I
about.
ruined your podcast.
No,
Like,
it's okay. That's exactly. No, I can relate to the anxiety part, because we all get anxious. We all get anxious after we graduate, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was kind of a little bit over the place, but I feel like that's exactly how graduation actually feels like. I'm joking.
Sorry, I was all over the place.
No, I'm joking.
I know,
You
I
were
was.
so unstable. I'm talking about myself. But that's what a month does to you. And so for every graduate out there, I hope you find your way. Don't worry too much, even if you have to be unemployed for a year. Hashtag me. Or like you will go into grad school again or not. And maybe you will pursue something else and get married. Who knows? There's so many paths out there.
God.
how to get a green card. But basically,
Someone marry this girl. Someone get this girl a green card.
today's my last day before my visa runs out. So starting
Oh.
tomorrow, actually, I'm on a grace period, and I am technically speaking non-existent in the United States. So I'm really happy for this podcast. I hope there will be another episode, but if not, thank you so much for listening to Identity Library. Thank you, Tommy, for being here again. So happy that you were one of my last people to interview, and full circle, right? Someone who I met a year ago and then being still on a podcast. Yeah. Go out in the world. Remember your ordinary people.
Spread your wings. Remember you're beautiful.
Okay, thank you for destroying my ending. But
Sorry.
be ordinary people, but we do extraordinary things every single day. Thank you so much for listening.